Yo, what's up, fellas? I don't know if I'm live yet or not. My third live stream, so yep, looks like I'm live. I see it up there. Can't see the thumbnail, but we are live. So what's going on, fellas? Today I'm going to be taking a look at Bitcoin. We're going to be taking a look at a few different perspectives on Bitcoin. So we're going to be taking a look at the daily time frame charts, and I have a couple different charts that we're going to be comparing. So, oh, what is that? Okay. So first, what we're going to look at is a basic oversight of Bitcoin on the daily time frame. This chart should not be too difficult to understand, so I'm just going to run us through it here, what we have right before us. So as we can see, Bitcoin has been in a downtrend, which is indicated by a series of lower lows, lower highs. So guys, if anyone jumps into this stream, by the way, I'm going to be doing a Bitcoin technical analysis. And if anyone has any altcoins to suggest, then I'll be looking at the altcoins that are suggested. So right now, what I'm looking at, Bitcoin on the daily time frame has shown us a downtrend since November. So we had this first all-time high in October. I think this, it was October 20th. And then it came up, and then we had another all-time high in November. Ever since then, we had a lower high, and we had a series of lower lows. So price stopped forming higher highs and higher lows, and then we start forming lower highs, lower lows. So we had this downtrend here, and you can see some of these lines, they once were thick like this, but I have made them dotted lines now as they were invalidated. So here was our first downtrend line that needed to be pierced. We actually did get some run up back here in December, formed a new high, but it was still a lower high. So this still indicates that we're on a downtrend, and thus short from the 9 EMA and from this retest here, which also happened to be the 26 EMA at that point in time. So price naturally found support over a once broken resistance point. See, so here we use it for resistance. Here it was broken over. Naturally, whenever a support and resistance roll flips, or when a resistance roll flips, it can become support. And same for support. If support is broken right here, we can see this was support. It broke through and became resistance. So as we are playing it, as time continues on, we're now playing it as resistance. So we got outside of this downtrend line. Now price can start to explore sideways ranges as is broken a fierce downtrend. Well, actually, this downtrend line here was from this high point and this high point. So this was one outbreak. This was the retest of one outbreak here. Now, historically speaking, if we take a look back at this all-time high in 2017, there was an 84% drop to the swing low after the swing high, and that took 364 days. The swing highs here were not 364 days out, and we haven't seen 84% pit yet. If we were to see 84% downside from that all-time high, it would put us, into like a 10K range. That would be really disgusting. But I'm just not going to ignore what history has shown us before, because that's actually happened time and time again. As we can see in this Bitcoin cycle, from the all-time high was actually 410 days and dragged down 86%. So we're looking at least a year from all-time high in previous cycles with drawdowns of 80%. So we have not seen that yet. But we have not ranged that far. So I'm not saying let's jump the gun and get ready to go full bull back to all-time high. But what we can take note of here is important and has happened is we have some serious downtrend outbreaks. These two, this was broken and this was also broken. Here we have sideways patterns. So I had this line here from this point as it created a new high, which was also lower. Instead of just chopping it up so dicey, wanted to try and keep this chart a little bit neat, so I just did that maneuver right there. And as we can see, we broke, even if I had it right here, we broke over this point, and by readjusting it here, we have broken over this point. So we do need to find confirmation above some of these levels and continue upwards movement to break this resistance point before I would consider long-term bullish trade. So we actually did get a really nice entry on this. I was going to try and do some scalping today. I still might if I can find an opportunity, but I don't want to try and force myself into a bad situation. But here we can see, let me find this for you. So we actually do have an entry on Bitcoin. So we're in at 41K, $41,318. So we've got some profit riding on that swing. We're trying to figure out when is the right time to sell. Why did we take that position? So we took that position on 320, and it looked like it was going to break out here. And simply to put, we did have a strategy tester bot to tell us that it was time to take a position, as well as we used that signal to confirm with our own intuition that price was coming up to, hey Deadly, wait, no, hey Mubarak, what's up bro, just saw your comment. Howdy, you're still here. If you got an altcoin you want me to look at, we'll take a look at that in a second. I'm just running through Bitcoin right now, trying to get an in-depth analysis. So yeah, well, we're looking at Bitcoin here. The position was taken. We did have this downtrend line as well showing to be broken, and this downtrend line being tested. So we wanted to try and go long there, no risk, no reward. Now we're trying to find either the point that we want to take profits or add an adjusted stop loss. So I really don't want to do that. If you're in the Discord, then you know we're working with that strategy and that bot to try and test something out. But here we can see that we do have outbreaks. Now what we need to get over is this resistance point right here. It's a pretty solid resistance point. As we can tell, there was a floor crash through here. So price butted up against it not too long ago, back in December and January, and now it's being tested. We tested 1, 2, 3 times. So here, likely, there's going to be some players taking shorts from this point. People are prepared to take shorts from this point. As we can also see, it's running into the 200 EMA. So it's possible that, what's up G-Man? So it's possible that we could also encounter some resistance here on the 200 EMA. Now what's interesting is I like to ride the 9, oh look, we just got a new daily candle. I like to ride the 9 EMA on the short-term crossover trade. So like if we're trading the 9 and 26 EMA only, then we can see that this is very nice for short-term crossovers. And actually here in a long-term downtrend, you can see where price finds rejection and resistance multiple times along the 9 and 26 EMA. So when we have the cross, we look for support until it's rejected, and then we find resistance. So here we have a cross. And of course, obviously, it's been crossed up and down here recently, so it's been very tangled up. But this looks a little bit more gradual and actually gives us our layer of support based on exponential moving averages. So in short, the exponential moving average is the average price of that people paid for Bitcoin over the past 9 sessions. Since we're looking at the daily time frame, this is 9 days. Over the past 9 days, people paid an average of about 43K for Bitcoin. So it's not bad. And that would be the first layer of dynamic support that we're looking for a retest to. So we definitely don't want to proclaim this as the end all be all, because this is a pretty steep uptrend, if we want to call it valid. So, I mean, we do also have this other uptrend seemingly formed from this higher low. So we had a candle wick dip into here and a candle wick dip into here. This is indicative of buyer support. This is showing us that people are interested in buying Bitcoin at this price. So we do have a little bit of a zone, and I'm trying not to get this map too dirty so that way you can just very kind of easily see with your eyes how I'm breaking up and layering it. Because I know it already looks bad with the fibs that I haven't explained. But I'm trying to break it up and just use simple market structure to have you look at what is happening here. So this is an area on the short term where people have showed interest in buying. And if I just flip this up here, this is an area on the short term where people have showed interest in selling. There's some profit taking going on here. We have profit taking going on here. So people like me who ended up in that trade a few days ago are now in a good profitable position. They want to take profits. They don't want to lose these profits. So if shorters start coming in and pushing price down through here, not brush, sorry. If shorters come in and they start pushing price down through here, right? So if we have first resistance and then shorters break price through here, and then we get a retest of this market structure, then it's going to break below. So now we're no longer creating a series of higher lows at this point. Yeah, so we have here's a higher low, and if this comes down, it's not going to be a higher low. So then once we have that type of retest, if this move here does not prove higher, then we're going to be in some trouble. We need to see a break above here pretty soon, and actually what we need to see is something like this. So price is going to have to, based upon if it gets rejected here or somewhere in the future, it needs to break upon this line and get into this zone and find support above this area that we have here. So let me just get rid of this box now because I think it's kind of clouding our vision. We need to find support. Yeah, it was clouding mine. We need to find support above this line in order to continue or feel safe continuing to wager or make new wagers in the direction of long for Bitcoin. So that is kind of what we're looking at right here. And I'm just going to pull up into a different map now. Vincent, what's up, bro? Think it's time to take profits. We at resistance and it's a weekend. Yeah, it's probably going to be some profit taking over the weekend. If it breaks, then re-enter it, retest. Nice, nice. Vincent, thanks for coming, bro. Thanks for dropping your comment. If you have an altcoin suggestion you want me to look at, I'm going to take a look at an altcoin after Bitcoin. So whoever throws one up, we'll take a look at it. So yeah, coming back to the EMAs. Now what's interesting is here I can definitely see some resistance, rejection coming in, also profit taking. People want to be dumping for the weekend. That's pretty natural with cryptocurrency. But we do have these ranges here. So it's not like we're spilling into this catastrophic downtrend anymore. We've exhausted a lot of this downtrend. So here it would be a first range for a retest, and even here I could expect some type of retest. Now at this point, the position I just showed you would already be at a loss, but that doesn't mean it's overall going to be bad for Bitcoin in the end. Now prematurely, what I like to do is speculate on a couple types of movements. This is half of a head and shoulders here. So if a head and shoulders does come out, generally it's a reversal pattern. So I wouldn't say that it would fit necessarily right here. But if it was to develop, then we can expect price to come back down and reverse off of this uptrend, because what we have here is an uptrend. So if this were to come to life, that's just one option that we could be looking at. Based upon what I see, it's half the head and shoulders right there. You know, half a shoulder coming up to a head point. Rejection only sounds natural, and support would likely be somewhere in this area, testing around 41.4 upwards of 43. So that's probably what it's going to be looking like over the next few days. Over the next month or two, I don't really want to speculate too hard on that. I'll try and introduce these live streams a little bit more periodically, that I have time to speculate in between. But over the next few days, that's the sort of range we can be looking at. Upwards ranges are pretty exhausted. I really already did try shorting over the past few days because I was expecting price to come back down. Let me take a look at this. Yeah. So this is a little bit of a messier chart here, but this is where I do a lot of my trading. That's why it looks like shit, because I'm doing a lot of intraday trading on here. So what's nice to notice is that from this uptrend point, we can see that there was a confirmation here. So it also does give us another layer of support. And I could also see here, I remember watching price shoot through this right here, and I was like, wow, just totally running straight through that zone. So that felt great. We definitely have a bunch of places to catch support here, but I don't want to be, I remember having a conversation with my colleagues, G-Man and Ethan the other day. I don't want to be that guy who's saying, all right, if this doesn't hold, if this doesn't hold, if this doesn't hold, because right off the rip, we need to know what's going on. There's possibly going to be some rejection here. Here's going to be some layered support 1, 2, 3, and 4. These are where we're going to be testing on the way down. These are major support and resistance lines based on daily time frames. So I can break it into smaller time frames too, and then we can get a bunch of pencil drawings. But that's, the minute time frames are really going to upset the larger picture view. So I'm really not going to get into that until it comes time to scalp. So looks like we have our outlook on BTC. I see Mubrak wants us to take a look at Ethereum. I can go ahead and pull up my Ethereum chart really quick. Let me see if this one has, yep. Okay, so this right here, this channel is not confirmed. I just want to let you guys know whatever I'm doing on this one right here, that was a gross speculation. Normally whatever I like to do is try to find a channel. So if I can find a channel, I will do that. So basically what I did was I connected these points from the lows, and I'm just trying to see if there's a parallel channel, where would I run into resistance at. So that's where that came from. This has not been confirmed. This only has 2 touches, not 3. Usually what we would like to confirm a channel is 3 touches or more. So here's a solid channel that we were trading. That was a super nice uptrend channel, which evolves into, I could say devolves into a downtrend channel as well. This one again is not perfect, but we can see price is somewhat of a channel. Whenever I can find a perfect parallel channel, those give me the best opportunities. Here we can see this is an uptrend channel, but this is like wedging in. So it's not exactly, it's still fine trading and still gives us good boundaries and limits, but that is not ideal. So anyway, this is a speculative channel. I'm just going to go ahead and hide it for now. I'm going to go to my object tree. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and hide that for now. And I'm going to be looking at, this was a short-term outbreak we had. Here is a very short-term uptrend based upon wicks. So this is kind of similar to what we have seen in BTC. This is laying down, so it's not too strong. And ultimately, overall, this, in what we just saw in Bitcoin too, this could be the pullback move in the larger downtrend. So I've seen stuff like this all the time. Let me try to pull up, I think I was looking at trading Ethereum Classic earlier today. Let me open that up. Okay, and 1 minute. Okay, now. All right. All right, I'm not remembering. I was looking at something earlier today that had shown market structure like that, but I'm not going to get too far into it. Let me just go ahead and continue with my thoughts right here. So this could be the pullback or the corrective move for the downtrend. So we can see it's running into that same situation like we had saw in Bitcoin. The short-term uptrend identified by the 9 and 26 EMA on the daily time frame is pretty similar to what we're seeing in Bitcoin. They move pretty close hand in hand, although there are going to be some differences in the spreads and the movements that they yield. Usually Ethereum is a little bit more volatile than Bitcoin and provides a little bit more of a spread. But here we can still see similar structure. We have a short-term resistance point indicated by this market structure high right here. So if price fails to break above, first of all, this 200 exponential moving average, and this horizontal resistance line indicated by this previous market structure, then again we can expect upwards break. So after we get through here, we can expect to trade between these ranges right here if support can be found, and if not, ultimately then we're going to look to come down. Here is a uptrend line. This one is super steep. I don't really want to rely on this too heavily, although we can draw it. I mean, it is an active trend and it is on the daily time frame, so it does have some sort of legitimacy. You see that there. So that's what we have been trading in, and if you can see that, looks like obviously there's going to be some conflict. How likely is it the price is going to break above in this area? Not very. More than likely price is going to break down to some degree, and we can expect a retest at this level or possibly at this level. This would coincide with the 9 and 26 EMA. It also looks to be meeting the 50 EMA there as well. So Ethereum looks pretty close to ZAR 100. I don't know what that is, bro. If you just gave me 100 ZAR, thank you, but I don't really know what that is. I don't know how to work that. I'm not sure what's going on. Thank you if you gave me 100 ZAR. Do you have an altcoin you want to look at, bro? Or does anyone else have another altcoin that they want to look at? I feel like Ethereum is pretty close to Bitcoin in market structure. I mean, I've seen some altcoins that run very far off, but overall this is kind of the range that we're looking at in Ethereum. And like I said, overall this could even be the snapback for the larger downtrend. I don't want to get into Ethereum's market cycle history because I haven't studied it as well as I have Bitcoin, but I will say that the previous resistance or the previous all-time high for Ethereum was at 1419 right there. So if we were to shoot back into that 80% type of scenario, or that we were looking at Bitcoin, it would give us way below the 15K region. Yeah, it'd be like at 929. So for Ethereum, I would like to say that 1419 where price, that was the previous all-time high. So I would like to say that price, yeah, see from over here. I would like to say that price, if it were to fall, if it were to just absolutely break this floor and eat dog poo poo, it would end up finding support somewhere at that line. But I don't know what the market sentiment might be at that point. It probably will scare a lot of people to get out of their positions, and it may crash harder. In which point, only the believers will be stacking these coins. But of course, that's going to be when you get your discounts, because as we have seen, at least in Bitcoin, price goes up over space and time, and it's usually profitable over space and time. SRM. All right, G-Man, let's see what we got going on here for SRM. Serum. Okay, so let me get a drink of water. I've never looked at this coin, so great, we get to look at it together. All right, fellas, I'll go ahead and do this altcoin TA. It looks like we're gonna get set up from start to finish here, and then we'll call it. So let me just see. I'm taking a look right now just to see what I've got going on. So it dates back before 2021, so that's good. So sometimes we get those altcoins that just showed up and they look like this. I hate doing TL on those, but this one has some price history, so it looks pretty solid. I would say that there was somewhat of a floor. Let me see if I could get this here. Okay, so we'll use that as floor 1. I don't want the color purple on it, so, or I don't want the color red, I want the color purple. So that'll be floor 1. There was the first major resistance point, so let me see if this coincides with anything up here. Well, price did get rejected there. That was the opening blow, though. That was opening day. So price, this coin got listed wherever it got listed and made someone super duper rich, shot all the way up here, and then they started profit taking. And here's some real price action. So looks like there were a couple support touches along that line. And why would this be a floor? There wasn't much price back here. There wasn't much going on at this point to really solidify that as a floor. There was kind of a touch here, I guess kind of a touch here in this range, so I can make this a zone. Wouldn't feel comfortable making this a line. Let me see how I can make this a zone, if I can make this a zone. And what percent is that? Okay, so that's not terrible. Okay, so it's, yeah, that's not gross. Let me see how this looks too. That's 2 points there. That's a tough one. I don't want to use that either. I would normally like to say 3 points. Here's a bounce off of it. We'll try and squeeze that in there. And then I want to try and get a couple uptrend lines and downtrend lines. So I'm starting really basic, and then I'll try and use my boy's fib today too. So there we go. Now I know that's broken, but I'm just trying to establish my price points for sure. I want to do that. So let me just go ahead. This could be used at some point in the future as resistance. And then also get some peaks out of this. Well, that's opened up really wide, but you know, you never really know. Now this one, I can definitely show something from this one real quick. I think, let me go look at Chainlink. So that probably looks stupid, like it'll never happen, but let me just see if I can find link real quick. No. Okay, yeah, so back here I took these points from different data points up way back yonder, and at the time when this was happening it looked pretty stupid, like it wasn't going to occur. But then here we have some almost touches it perfectly for resistance, and then up here it crashes straight through it. But it was used in the future, so we'll just leave it there. It might look stupid now, but we could run into some resistance there in the future. You never know. So we'll leave that there for now, and now we need to draw our... Oh, so this looks nice. This looks like what Bitcoin did in 2017, honestly. You got the breakdown, classic consolidation, and then this is going to come back up. So you have market cycle consolidates, downtrend, reversal, turns into an uptrend. It looks like there's some a little bit of consolidation down here, but yeah, let's go ahead and track this. I'm going to try and connect that. It's steep and it's broken, but I'm just going to try and feeling this thing out. I got to know this coin. I've never looked at it before today. Okay, so here was our steep drop off. Gosh dang it. I'm getting a phone call. I'm on the live stream, dude. Okay, I'll try and play this as resistance in the future too. There's a couple of good touches here. I'm gonna use that as orange. Okay, so here is support, 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 support. Maybe I can use it as resistance in the future. Now I'm really gonna close in on this downtrend right here and see where my breakpoints are. So that is no good. I mean, obviously this is broken and shooting up. We'll get there. Okay, so that's like the best I can do with that, and that's pretty much almost over. Okay, so now here we go. Clean. Beautiful. Alright, looks like this thing's shooting up. So let me project my first uptrend now. This would be dynamic support. Now this is already way too high. I mean, it's valid and probably could catch another bounce off the 90 EMA here upwards. But how valid is that? I don't know. It's very steep. I wouldn't put too much faith on it. Is there divergence? There is no divergence. So it looks like this bad boy's probably going to have another push-up, which would layer out here. We do have, ends up at the 200 daily EMA and a previous resistance point. So this is that one that we tried to squeeze in there. No, that was a solid one. Yeah, that was from the first one there. Resistance, almost support, resistance. A little bit of resistance. We could probably look to shoot to there on this run. It might psych some people out. I'll take a look into the 4 hour really quickly and see what we have going on here. So yeah, that uptrend looks a little more valid on the 4 hour now. It's already broke through the 9 once though, and 26. So if we're just using common sense here, it could layer down into the 50 or the 100 next time, which would put it above like 239. So if we could find support there, 239, I wouldn't rule out a retest to this level, because that's where the 200 EMA would be on the 4 hour as well as with my uptrend line. Let me step back into the daily real quick and see if I could put a fib on this and see where any fib levels are. So Master G-Man, I think he's in the house. Yo, Czar, South African Fiat. Patrick, what's up, bro? You are long on SRM from 306. Damn! Lucky dog, lucky dog. You're in it. You're not too far, but you're in it. Shoot, ride it up, bro. Ride it. It looks like, yeah, oh, my bad. Got a little distracted there. Let me check out that fib real quick. So... No. I got a risk reward tool. Whoopsie. So, yeah, neat. That would also be a fib area, a fib level on the daily, going from swing high to swing low. Well, swing low would be right here, but going back to the beginning of time. So if I want to adjust that, then it would offset it a little since it's broken down. Yeah, I'm just gonna go back to where it was. I like that better. Fibs can be a little tricky, but I'll use that. Okay, I'll use this one. Let me just use this one. right here. So I'm going from that point. So even from using that point, the resistance becomes a little higher and seems to be in free float. You can see how well it did work along these points though, so it's pretty solid. Let me just measure back over here again real quick. There's some respect. I can see respect here too, but this definitely does look good. That looks good. So I'll use that. That is swing high, swing low. So we'll use that for the fib. I'll jump back into the 4 hour, see what we got going on here. I'm not going to be trading this token. G-Man, good luck with your trade. Let me just see what I got here. I don't even know if it's on Bybit or not, but I'm not on Binance anymore because my Binance ain't cool in my country. So here on the 4 hour, we can see this is where this is a support line that could potentially be broken soon. We also have what's indicated, looks like a wedge here, some type of wedge forming. Price has been rejected from it once. So naturally I would say to be concerned for rejection in this area. There could be some support right here, but this is a valid uptrend. This would be a trend reversal, and this is a valid uptrend indicated by the EMAs and every other technical factor. Series of high. This is a higher low, and we're making higher highs. I'm just saying, in the short term, there's probably going to be some pullback. If that pullback creates another higher low, continue the uptrend. It looks like the uptrend will be continuing if that's the case. But right now, it looks like there's probably going to be some breakdown of price. We can do S1 here, S2, S3, S4. And then if that's broken, S5 will meet up right around here, S6 along this. Which those could also be your short targets. So if you're trying to short this, that would make a little bit more sense. If you're trying to short this, you could set up a stop loss above here. Oh, that's gross though. 7% stop loss is terrible. I wouldn't advise that. But if you were trying to go on the downside, if you could come in with a really tight stop loss that you think would make sense, I feel like you might be asking to get stopped out since price has just explored this range. But you could do something with this if you were diligently watching this. There are some downside targets, and that's kind of how you would break it up too and give yourself targets. So yeah, without getting into any smaller time frame, then it's gonna start to get discombobulated and a little information overload. Fib extension targets on 4 hour. Don't invite sellers. G-Man will be angry. I'm not trying to invite sellers. I'm just just being realistic. I think G-Man understands that as well. He probably asked for my opinion to see if it matched up with his. Now he's going to be able to do something with that information. He already had an opinion before he asked me. I promise you that. All right, fellas. So that'll do for this live stream today. I'm not gonna take any scalps. I would like to have time to focus in on some scalps, focus in on the market, and take some scalp trades. That'll be in my next one. So I've been doing them every 2 weeks. I'm gonna do one again in 1 week. I haven't been scheduling them either, so I'm gonna try and schedule my first one. I didn't want to try and schedule them while I'm learning how to use all these features. I'm learning how to live stream on YouTube. So. Short, sweet bursts of streaming, and whenever I get comfortable with everything, we'll have some like power sessions where I'm sitting in here and trading 4, 5, 6 hours at a time, and just taking trades all day and just enduring the market. But for now, thank you guys for coming. Thank you all very much. I appreciate you coming here. G-Man, I'm not sure what this ZAR is, bro. If you tip me, thank you very much. All I can see is right here, it says G-Man Crypto ZAR 100. I don't know if you left a tip or not, but if you did, thank you very much. That's my first tip. I really appreciate it, bro. I'll figure that out after the stream, and I will schedule my next stream for 1 week from today. And I don't know how that's going to look when I do schedule it. So just keep a lookout on the channel, and when it gets scheduled, you might get an alert. I don't know. Like I said, it's going to be my first time scheduling one. So I will try to get a video uploaded before then, and I will see you guys on Friday next week. Toodaloos, everyone.